Welcome back to another Monday night of Heroes and Hooligans, where we are playing Delirium, a grim, hollow, grimdark setting set in the world of Atharis with a little spice. Happy Monday, friends.
Spices.
Spices. All this.
Monday.
Happy Monday. Okay, so let's get a recap and get it moving.
Oakley dokley. So last session we did a lot of sailing. We took off on our boat. I believe Stork shared some stories with us about the beast roaming the Burok Empire. Then we did some sleep-ins. Tina and Harnock, I think, kind of bonded over a shared nightmare of a dream for both sides. Um, Brill and Stork did some bonding with some swordsmanship stuffs. Then our captain led us into a bunch of rocks in a storm. I don't know why Brill did that. And then the boat kind of disappeared. Our fighter was very dangerously close to drowning. Luckily, there was a handy dandy crocodile nearby to help him out. And then we pushed on to the shore of this mansion thing, and now we're figuring out where we're going from here.
Yeah, pretty close. This mansion thing, I like it. I like
To
it.
be fair, we were heading for Lysak, and I got us there.
You did get us in the general direction, in the general area.
You did. You did get in the general vicinity. All right, so you did get on the little island, and then I think you decided to take your swan boat off the island to the port in the mainland.
I do believe so.
To
The
the
manor looked empty and abandoned and scary.
Yeah. So we kind of started discussing it a little bit before the session started, but we need to make a solid decision. What are you doing with your boat and all of your traveling gear? All of your barrels of things?
What do we see from the shore as we're starting to approach? Like, do the buildings look well maintained? Do we see people moving around?
Where your boat comes up to is a docking pier area, and there's the dock warehouse and things off to the side. They don't look super well maintained, but they look better than dilapidated, still being used. But Lysek, when you look out to see if there's a bunch of people around, from what you heard, it is a free city, and I'm assuming you expected hustle and bustle. It's early in the morning, probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, and there's not as many people as you would expect to see.
But there are people.
Yes.
Okay. We need some place to store this stuff. Is there anyone near on the dock that we can ask about tying off to or paying fees or something?
Nope. Nobody on the dock, but give me a perception check.
Sure. That's okay. 12.
Okay, so you don't see anybody on the dock, but you do see the docking warehouse. And even though you don't see anybody, Brill's a decently smart individual, probably deduces if there's no dock workers on the dock, maybe they're in the warehouse, but you don't see anybody right off the bat, no.
Okay, I think we should go in there because there might be someone to pay to store our stuff or unload or something. Right?
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Although there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of people around, so not super high hopes.
It will be difficult if we can't find anything.
I agree, but I don't know of a way to protect the boat and/or things while they are here.
If need be, one of us can stay behind and keep an eye on everything. I may as well, since I came up with the idea, offer myself as tribute for that. Albeit I would request that someone, if there's a library here, go and see if there's anything that I might find interesting.
I don't think that's the smartest move. I'd rather have everyone together.
Yeah, I think we should stick together until we know more about this area.
But if you would like to stay here while we go and see if someone is in the warehouse who can help us, I suppose that would be all right.
I just don't want us to lose our investment is all.
I don't suppose you have a way to like notify us if anyone touches or takes something.
I don't have anything specific for that, but even if I did, I would be wary to use it until we know. And she kind of looks around for a moment and shrugs before we know whether this is a heavy inquisitive location or not.
Happy to take the lead, just in case.
Go for it. After you.
And I'll make my way in.
Okay. Harnock and Valentina, you both have tokens on the board. Brill and Stork, you do not. If you would please do that for me. Let me make this a little bit bigger.
Ah,
Okay, that's not the token we've been using for Stork.
Why? I like the face.
Hope you got red. All right. Oh, you're still a little big.
I am. I did not know how to change size.
It's okay. I got it.
Yeah, I went as small as I could.
No, you're good. I'll zoom in the map a little bit better. I made them really small because I want to be able to zoom in really big on the map to see the smaller areas, let alone not the whole thing all at once.
Yeah. You sure you're gonna be okay, Val?
I should be fine. I have very little worry about it, though I do appreciate you being worried about it, but I'll be sure to take extra care for it, just in case.
Okay. Brill will follow Stork then.
All right. Yeah, I think Stork's just gonna walk right in.
Yeah, when you come off the dock, you see there's like a seawall that is built up into the mainland part where it comes out, and like it's a concrete wall, and you can get past it where you see some boxes and things. You could go in through the yard, or you could try to go around the front to the front of the building. Which way do you want to go?
I'd like to just go in through the yard.
All right. Yeah, so you come right in this way through here. And roll me perceptions.
Nat 1.
12.
Brill trips and falls.
Stork a 12, you said?
Yep.
And brilliant shit. Cool. So when you go in through the wall towards the back of the building, you see the big wooden loading cranes, and some like work in progress in the shipyard, right? Like it looks like they've got some old, broken down boat pieces in there. And you see lots of different like barrels and crates, but they seem to be in disarray. They don't seem to be very organized. And you still don't quite see anybody out here.
Well, you said there's people in this town, yes?
I mean, there were a few people walking around, not nearly as many people as there should be.
Yeah, this is a bit abandoned.
I mean, we could try the door.
Yeah, let's try to head in, I suppose.
You want to go in the front or through the door in the yard?
Probably the door in the yard since
We're here.
Okay. So you go to jiggle the door handle to the warehouse, right? And when you go to turn it, it seems like this door is locked.
All right. Well, yes, we better head around front.
So you go back out, you go around, you go to the front door. It's like a shop door, the front door there. It's got the glass panes in the window. They're very, very dusty. You turn the door handle and you go to push it open, and it swings open. It makes like a creaking noise. And you see it opens into like a small office space. And there's a desk and then a door that goes out into the main warehouse. And behind the desk, with a hat over his face and his feet kicked up on the desk, is an older gentleman with his arms crossed like he's snoring.
Hello. Trying to do business with you.
He doesn't seem to hear you.
I mean, I look over at Brill and like shrug a little.
Do I see any markings around similar to the last dock I docked at? Any thieves' cant or any markings signifying anything here?
Not in this office, no.
Okay. Sir, we're trying to see if we can tie up our boat, maybe store some supplies, get some supplies. I mean, we've tried everything else at this point, right?
I mean, you tried talking to him. You could tap his foot if you want.
That
I'm
feels
about
like
to say, I can get real loud.
Harnock turns into an elephant. Just
No, I'm thinking he's not gonna thunderclap.
I'll do get thaumaturgy where my voice booms up 3 times as loud.
I like that better than slapping him, which was my idea.
Well, I didn't say slap him, just like jiggle his foot or something. Tap the
I
end of
was
his
I was jumping to slap before I asked you.
We were going for violence.
Yeah, I could tell clearly.
But if you want to try yelling with
Yeah,
magic,
I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy, and I'm going to very loudly say, "Sir."
And he wiggles a little bit, adjusts his hat, wipes his nose, makes a sniffle noise, scratches his belly button, and snores really loud again.
Brill will try and like poke his shoulder.
And when you poke him, he kind of like jumps up and takes his hat off. It's like one of those tricorn sailor's hats. It's extremely worn. And he tosses it back on his head, and you see his like gray braid fall down to the side. And he leans down and opens a drawer of his desk, and he pulls out this little golden horn, and he sticks it up next to his ear and turns it kind of towards you and says, "What'd you say?"
We just came in. Our boat's at the dock. We were hoping to tie up, maybe, make sure nothing happens to it, and we might need to resupply. Are you the person we talk to for that?
Yep, hold on just 1 second. And he puts his horn down on his desk and picks up a big, huge, thick book and puts it on the desk and opens it. It looks like a ledger. It's very dusty. You don't see much new, fresh ink until he gets to the last page. There's like a couple of check-ins. How big's your boat? And how many days you staying?
It's honestly more of a barge than a boat. Probably 30 by 30. I don't really know a ton about boats and things.
How long
It's
you
a
staying?
barge. We don't know. Like I said, we were on our way north. We were really hoping to get some supplies, maybe learn about the area and what's been going on lately over here.
Okay, minimum 1 day. And he scribbled it down. What's the name of your boat and the captain?
Sir Storic Wright and the Swan.
Writes down Sir Storic and the Swan, marks it 1 day, docking fees, figures up some math, says 5 gold pieces should be okay for the day. And you said something about something else?
5 gold pieces for a day's docking? Are you including resupplies in that?
No, I'm including the docking fee. Resupply is going to cost you more.
Quite expensive in these parts. Though I suppose without the economy of an empire to back you up, you have to take what you can get, don't you?
You talk too much.
Damn.
You don't talk enough.
Here's your 5 gold. We'll be back probably later today. Bro reaches into the bag of holding and pulls out 5 gold.
He just takes the gold and marks that you paid, puts it away, puts the book away, puts his feet back on the desk, puts his horn back down so he doesn't have to hear shit, his hat back on his face, and leans back for another nap.
That was... Bro walks outside. Sorry.
Yeah, Storic will go out with him.
That was aggressive.
Man can't do his job. Don't see why I owe him the common courtesy of being polite.
I mean, that felt like a threat. Like, he doesn't know who you are. That sounded like you were threatening him.
That's fair. That's fair. I merely intended to impress upon him that if he wishes to make more coin, then perhaps he should do his job instead of charging exorbitant fees.
See, but what you said was, if he wanted to make more coin, he should join the Empire.
I suppose I could see that. I more meant if they're so poor that they have to charge a year's wages for most people for docking fees.
I mean, wouldn't they
Maybe
charge
the
that
country
much if
should-
they were pretty popular, too?
Did you see another boat out there?
I mean, I don't. There was also a storm last night. I assume any other boat that didn't magically turn into a feather is at the bottom of the ocean.
I would have assumed boats would have stayed docked and not shipped out with the storm. But I can see where you're coming from as well. Oh, there is a whole ass another boat there. I just completely missed
We
that.
walk outside, and Bill's just looking over his shoulder at the boat behind him, and she's like, "Yep, you're right."
I just imagine Brill's got her back to the boat and Stork's facing it. You see another boat out here? Yeah.
Anyways, so we can go get Tina because the boat's gonna be fine.
Are we sure Storic's not the one with the nat 1 on perception?
I mean, you are the one who noticed it.
I only noticed it thanks to our lovely DM highlighting it before people.
Yeah, we can definitely go get Tina then, right? It's docked. It's in your
Yeah.
name.
Yes, we can do that.
So we'll go back and let Tina Val know that the boat's good and they can come with us.
All right. When you come to her, she's kind of further up out on the dock, just kind of staring out across the water toward in the direction of what would be the Eye of the Sea. Though I don't think we can see that in the distance. Can we? Can we, Huli?
The Eye of the Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I'm
Like
looking
if I'm looking out from the dock.
No, it's very cloudy and mist covered.
Gotcha. So I'm just staring into the clouds.
Yeah.
When you guys come to grab her, she'll take notice and get up from her seat and follow along. No one seemed to come by the boat or anything like that, so.
That was fun. I think next time you should go with Stork when he talks to the guy.
For what reason?
It was very fun. It's a whole different side of Stork.
And she just kind of like leans to the side to look past Brill and to look over at Storic.
Stork's examining the cobbled stones on the ground. He's like, the construction's quite good. It's held up quite well. Doesn't seem like it needs much work.
And she'll just lean back and kind of shrug and say, "You know what? I guess it will be interesting to see another side." And she'll reach into her pocket and pull out her little Sakura mask and attach it onto her face before kind of striding to return to the group.
Brill, let's try this one more time. When you get close to your boat to get Tina, give me a perception.
Okay.
Third time's the charm.
No, it's not. That's
Since I've been here keeping an eye on the boat, can I offer help?
Yeah.
I was about to say, does my passive perception pick anything up?
I mean, we're back at a 12.
Oh yeah, I'm way over there.
Oh,
You got a chaos coin. For that
I don't know that.
one.
Oh yeah, then that one. You're right.
Oh, you're right.
Wow.
I will spend my chaos coin. Thank you.
I ain't even gonna lie, John. I probably should have just rolled because when I pulled out the die on
You
Owlbear, I
got
rolled
12.
15.
Wow.
New dice time.
Holy, I'm sorry. The dice just don't want to tell your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't. Well, I mean, it's just really more for your own benefit, but
To see
I have a
the
passive of 14 if that
thing
helps.
hiding out on our barge that's about to take everything as soon as we walk away.
no. All right, Tina, you're there. Give me an Arcana check.
Ooh, I'm good at these. All right, let me double check and see. Okay, plus 10. That'll be a 24.
Okay.
Double Brill.
All right, so you would have felt it before Brill got there. Whenever the last drop of ink landed next to the information about the swan and marked that it was paid, this sort of like magical ripple kind of went through the boat, and it was like a slight staticky, tingly feeling, like a magical locking spell to keep any intruders out of your property.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Cool.
okay.
As she strides past Brill, she'll kind of like, pat Brill on the shoulder and point to the boat and just kind of throw out. Besides, whatever you did in the warehouse, it seems locked up tight. Strange.
Okay. Now you are secured in Lysec. Which direction do you want to head?
Let's. I mean, this central area. Is there anyone moving around this temple? That seems like the obvious first place to go.
Yeah, if you want to go in there, you can.
While we're walking in that direction, Huli, can I ask what these barricades off to the side that separate the town from the plague zone, the quarantine zone? How do those look? Can you give me a picture, please?
Yeah, a medieval Berlin wall of wooden separation between the two places.
So like great palisades, like logs with sharpened up
Yeah.
at the top.
super big wooden separation walls. There's like a gate in the middle that kind of lets you in and out. I think actually the gate is behind
The
the
sparrow's nest, right?
nest. Yeah. So the only way to get into it is through the sparrow's nest. So it's like, think of a wooden fort built up around behind the sparrow's nest that the only entrance is through there.
Okay.
I think orc encampments in Skyrim, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. That's what I was thinking. I was wondering if there were like any sign symbols or anything like written on the palisades, like saying like "keep out," "stay away,"
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yep. All across the wall in all different dialects and languages is painted words: keep out, quarantine, things like the plague is going to get us, and all kinds of doomy weepy shit about plagues.
Okay. Tina will move a little bit slower as she's kind of observing the wall after everybody, and just kind of get a pondering idea on what she may need to do here. Everyone, just for a heads up, and she'll kind of point towards the palisades. I think this town has a problem going on. Perhaps something we can use to our advantage. Not necessarily to our advantage. Maybe they might need our help.
I mean, we have to find someone before we can help anyone.
I
will admit the guy in the dock warehouse was pretty rude.
Thank you. All I asked.
I think you beat him on the rudeness, but he definitely started it.
Tina will give a small little golf clap towards Storic. I'm sorry, my eyes wander a bit much. So where do we want to look first? Do we want to check out that temple, or do we want to see if we can find an inn? Because where there's a lack of people, there's a good chance they may be gallivanting in the drinking hall.
I mean, we can definitely do that. I just don't know where an inn is, so I figured stopping at the first place to try and get directions might be good.
Agreed.
Fair enough.
So do you
So
guys
you
want to...
Stop
ahead.
at the temple?
Okay, I was going to say, so do you want to stop at the temple or look for somewhere else to stop?
We
Temple's
can
right
stop
here.
at the temple.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go to the temple, and it's not like a big building, individual building that you go to. It's several statues kind of arranged in a circular Colosseum-like motion with a couple of little mausoleums, and inside of each of the mausoleum is like a different altar to one of the older forgotten gods. You can discern from the fact that Lysek still has these here that they're one of the few places that still believes that the gods were real and are out there somewhere.
Is there anyone moving around?
It doesn't seem to be like a place
Like anyone's there, okay.
right, like it's not like a church or something where there's a groundskeeper or anything like that. It's just, maintained by whoever comes in and cleans it up, community effort.
More than anything else.
Are these go ahead.
I was gonna say, does Harnock recognize any of the temples?
To the old gods, yeah. I mean, you'll recognize the statues to the gods that were gods before they disappeared.
Are these like four buildings that are in between the statues? Are they kind of like mausoleums?
Yeah, like little mausoleums, yeah.
Mausoleum, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Can't English.
English hard.
Much hard.
Do I see a temple to Aurelia?
Without me pulling the deity list, if she's one of the old deities, then yeah.
I don't think she's one of the 4 deities of the Burok Empire, if I'm correct.
No, that's one of the seraphs, right?
Well, Miklos is one of the arch seraphs.
Okay. If she's not one of the original 4, then no.
Okay.
I don't even have the list of the old ones, only the seraphs and demons.
I'm about to say, because... Wait, I thought she was, actually. Because I'm a follower of Aurelia.
Yeah, she is. She's the goddess of the hearth and protection. She's the one who sacrificed herself to protect people from the rest of them.
Well, if she's one of the old gods, then yeah, she's there. If she's not, then no. Yes.
She is.
Then yes.
Harnack's gonna go towards the mausoleum of her.
Okay.
Whichever one that might be.
Whichever one you make it, that's the one it is.
Operate.
All right, that's the one.
Did you want us to come with you, or did you want to do this alone?
I'm gonna go alone. And he's gonna enter into the actual mausoleum itself.
Yeah, and it's just very small, stone kind of walls and back, whatever. And there's like a statue of the goddess in the back, and then a little burning brazier, and then you can see the remnants of old offerings left around there.
So it's small enough that I assume I'm alone in there?
Yeah, there
They
wasn't
didn't follow
anything.
me? So I'm going to walk up to the brazier, and I'm actually going to put the celestial skull I have in the brazier.
Okay.
And then I'm going to whisper in celestial a small prayer.
Okay.
And then I'll come back out.
Okay. And after you finish the prayer, it is about the time when the old skull kind of burns up, and there's like a flash of coincidental fire when you're getting ready to leave.
Ooh. Do I feel anything when that happens? I assume I just see it.
No, you basically get a blessing.
Oh, cool. And then I'll head down the stairs and rejoin the group.
Okay. It doesn't see, there's not like monks or acolytes tending the temple. They're just pretty empty. But there are some people like up in this direction and things of the sort.
The temples seem to be more monuments than anything else.
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah. I guess we can head towards those people. Maybe one of them can point us toward a inn.
Yeah, it seems like a fair idea.
I forgot I had music. I should have been playing music this whole time. All right. So you want to head this direction. Here. Towards like here. Go for it. Head along. Go where you go and move right along.
I don't like this music.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Hooli, can I get a vibe check?
The vibes are immaculate, bruv. What do you want from me?
They're
Well,
fucking
because-
radical.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
they're immaculate. Okay, there's
Yeah, the
nothing
vibes
wrong
are
with this place at
immaculate.
all.
No, if you want legit to kind of acquiesce the mental state of a majority of the populace, you could roll a insight, I suppose.
All right, I will. I'm not good at it, but let's see. Nat 20, 21, and
Okay.
a chaos coin.
So, contrary to it being called the Free City, things here don't, to it being called the Free City, to it being a free city, right? It doesn't feel very chipper or cheery. It feels very drab and like something is like leeching the life out of people around. Like they're just drained and don't have really a much oomph to anything that they're doing or saying.
Got you. Got you. Val will keep that to herself for right now.
Okay.
Just in case. 'Cause if everything's feeling all drab and not so chipper, and us four walking in chipper and non-drab, for all we know, we got eyes on us already.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what it's like to be chipper.
Right.
What a way to go about it. I dig it. So you're heading towards the marketplace through these kind of these little sections that you're coming by are
Yeah.
like little housing sections, but it appears a majority of them are abandoned. You can use your deductive reasoning to figure out, probably because those people are in quarantine.
Or dead.
Yeah.
Also, that and once you kind of move through these residential districts, you'll notice that they're not very clean, that there's like rubbish on the ground and chamber pots have been dumped and there's rats kind of running everywhere. It's very dirty and dingy. Not anything here so far has had a shine to it. It's all dull.
Not sure how much help and supplies we're gonna find here. But you
Supplies,
said,
definitely not.
but I do feel like we should try to find someone and figure out what's going on. Can we see like in the I guess you said it was pretty misty, so we can't see very far, huh?
You can on the where you're at, it's not as misty. It's kind of like morning port, foggy, damp.
Okay.
But out where Val was asking about the island where your ship kind of crashed is misty and foggy, and you can't really tell what's out
Okay.
there.
Okay. Does it seem like it gets better maintained at all in the distance? Or
Yeah, there's
more
some
populated.
You're coming through an older residential, like I said. So through here is like all mostly abandoned houses, maybe one or two people still living in their place along the way. There is a market. You can hear kind of quieter market noises. It's not like a bustling Tola Mill style market. And the walls around the barracks seem to be decently taken care of. And the church kind of rises in the distance, as well as the high belfry. So those places look like they're more taken care of. But what happens when a plague hits? Who gets affected the most? Not the people with the coins.
Right. I mean, it sounds like there's a market ahead. Otherwise, I mean, which of these nicer buildings do we want to go towards? Because I mean,
I think the market may be the way to go if we're looking for information and supplies.
Okay, we can keep walking then.
I'll second that.
Okay. Yeah. So you can go through. These buildings up here seem to have a few more people living in them. It's very wretched and squalid living conditions. Think like slummy, kind of. And when you you walk by one of the houses, and just as you do, somebody dumps a bucket of slop out behind you, almost getting it over your shoulder. You know, you hear a couple of people arguing. A guy throws a punch at another guy and tells him he swindled them when they were, playing dice. Just a really shady, shoddy kind of area.
No. I mean, there's people here. We could ask one of them.
Yeah, I think I want to go up to that guy who was yelling at the other guy about dice, actually, I think.
Okay.
Pardon me, it seems there's a bit of a disagreement here.
What do you want?
Anything the Inquisition can help you settle.
The Inquisition? He sounds clearly inebriated. What is the Inquisition gonna do for us? Nothing. And he's kind of like wobbling around.
Get you a warm meal, drink in your belly, if you'll just sit and talk to me and my companions here about what's been happening in town.
A warm meal and a drink won't pay my bills. And he kind of like staggers forward.
Neither we're making a foe of the Inquisition. We're here to help.
I ain't no mage. Can't help me. And he kind of like shoves past you. Not really the shoves, but like drunkly staggers by. Like Inquisition ain't shit to him, so he's just like whatever.
Brill leans down. See what I mean? Whole different side.
And she'll kind of lean over towards Brill and say, perhaps, but kind of sounds a little bit like the same old, just modern.
Storik's gonna look back at everyone else. Oh, we learned quite a bit there.
Yeah, we definitely learned that you're not very good with drunkards.
Yes, and we learned that the people of this town don't have respect for the Inquisition, which means it doesn't have much of a presence here. So perhaps you don't need to be as tight with your skills as you thought.
Val will raise her hands and start casting random magic. Like, yay! No. she'll just kind of nod her head and say, okay, but I'll still play it safe.
Yes,
Best
good.
not.
Not to take risks if you don't need to, but if it's needed, we know.
Indeed.
So I guess no one around here is probably going to be much help.
We've also learned that poverty seems to be an ongoing issue for most people here, even those that are still present.
I mean, I feel like it's a thing for most people everywhere.
Well, I mean, there's always... I understand poverty is an issue for a lot of people, but most places you can join the Inquisition, you'll get some education, you'll get a few hot meals, and all you have to do is sign your life away to do it.
Val will like be in the middle of a half step and just kind of turn back and say, "Yeah, that sounds like a very steep price. I think I would know." And keep her walk going.
It's like he's almost there. Just one more step.
she'll give a side eye to Harnock when she says that. Actually,
Uh,
Yeah, say the views of the character do not reflect the views of the player. We're showing growth here, guys. That's the goal.
Hey, it just means you're doing good.
Yeah, I'll remind everybody that this campaign is in a grim, dark setting. The world is much, much different than it is in the real world. Before we started playing this game, the players have all discussed their lines and veils with me, and we have consent forms on hand. If anything at any point in time becomes too much for you, we'll see you next week, and take care of your mental health, because you're more important than the game is. That's what I got to say to the audience about it.
Love that.
Love it.
But yeah,
back to the poverty-stricken port town of Lysek here.
yeah.
yeah.
The market. You approach the market. You see a few stalls up, a couple of individuals working the different stalls. The stalls are nowhere near as nice as the ones that you saw in Tola Mill. They are more ragged and run down. There's some postings hanging that seem to be very old, that say, they look like flyers, and they say Grand Citywide Market, but they look like it hasn't been held in a very long time. The date is many years in the past.
I mean, Brill's gonna walk up to like the first closest person she can see, probably.
You come across first Bloodbath and Beyond, a small armorer's, a small
Wait.
like weapons stand.
Wait, Bloodbath and Beyond?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going there.
You just walk up, and it's a small stand, and the colors, it'll be this one here. We'll just say it's this one because it's got the purple and the red. So you see some daggers and rapiers and things like that. Just a handful of weapons, nothing too much. And everything has a price tag, which seems to be crossed out and rewritten several times, the price always being higher each time. For this one right here. For example, the short sword that would normally cost somebody 10 gold is marked up to 45 gold at Bloodbath and Beyond.
I don't know if these people understand how pricing works.
The economy
Time to start teaching them. I was just about to say it's time to learn about the economy.
I assume
But
there's
no.
like someone behind the stall.
An older gentleman dressed in very worn leathers. If you want to roll a perception to identify the leathers, you certainly can.
I'd
Some
love
of
to, actually.
Might recognize them.
Can I insight instead?
Could I make a history instead?
You could. You can roll whatever you want and tell me why you rolled it.
Sure. Well, Brill didn't do very good. But it is an 8 still, which is not very good. But yeah, Brill's like trying to take him in the armor.
Nice. Dirty 20 on a history. Thinking about all the time that Stork's thinking about all the time he spent studying other armed forces and their tactics in order to better understand those he may have to work with through the Inquisition.
Storic, I'll say, Brill, you don't recognize shit, but Storic, I'll say that you recognize the worn down stitching and style of the armor as an old, like, thieves guild from, when you were active in the Inquisition. It wouldn't be somebody that you would probably be working with per se, but maybe funneling information through for the right amount of coin.
All right, I'm going to walk up to him, and Stork's going to pull out one of the old passcode phrases that he knew for speaking with more unsavory aid. Hello, I'd like to purchase a pair of boot daggers. Asking for any information on the current ongoings in town.
You said boot daggers?
Just a pair.
Huh. I haven't had anybody come around looking for boot daggers in a long time. And he's a human gentleman, probably late 40s, early 50s, salt and pepper hair, not completely gray, but starting to show some gray. Pretty haggard looking, hasn't had a clean shave in a while.
It's been some time since we've been in the area. But,
Well,
we like to stock up every time we come through.
my boot daggers used to be pretty decently priced, but now they're a little more expensive. You see, difficult times call for difficult measures. It'll cost you, and he pulls an abacus and flicks some of the little beads across it. 30 gold pieces for a pair of boot daggers.
I think we can do that.
Oh, is that for me?
Yeah, and I'm going to look over at you, Brill, since you're carrying the bag of holding.
Sure. That feels expensive. But Brill will pull out 30 gold pieces and give them to the guy.
That'll be 30 gold pieces. Stork just says, yep, and then holds his hand out.
On second thought, she'll pull the gold coins back. What if we were to offer you a trade?
I'm pretty sure gold for boot daggers is a trade.
But what if I can give you a better trade? And she's going to reach into the bag and pull out a very large maul. Think of what you could get for this.
I would like to inspect it first.
Sure. I mean, the last holder smashed the head of a dragon with it.
And he'll take it from you, and the first thing he does is bites one of the spikes to see how real they are. And he kind of like moves it around in his hand, swings it at the air for a minute. Okay, this will do.
I feel like maybe we should get a little something for that. But
He
it is
tucks it
difficult times.
Yeah,
Maybe
it is.
you don't have to pay with gold. How about
Uh-huh.
you give us the boots and maybe some information?
Brill, boot daggers are information.
he just kind of
Val will
side-eye Storic, like, what kind of riffraff are you bringing to my here? And he pulls some ball.
Stork's gonna give him a look right back, like, you are riffraff. Shut up.
Val is kind of is like 4 feet back, just kind of trying to hold it together. Like she's almost breaking into laughter right now.
He'll tuck the maul down behind the shelf. He doesn't put it up for display. And he comes out from under the shelf with 2 small wooden daggers and places them into the hand of Storic. Your boot daggers.
Thank you. And Stork will slip him down into his boots.
I thought they were information, not daggers.
Is there any purchase you need to make? Do you need resupply? Do you need to resupply the stall?
Well, I have some decent wares here, and he points over his knives and stuff. But I'm always willing to take a gander if you have things you'd like to sell.
The only thing I have to sell is a bit of aid for old allies.
I got plenty of aid, and he picks up a jug, and it's like a glass jug, and you can see it's got like this yellow liquid inside of it. My aid is made with lemons, but I like other things of the gold variety.
Val will kind of walk up to Storik and kind of whisper into his ear, "Could you ask about the plague that's running through this town? Since
How are you handling the recent disease running through? I'm
You
sure
really
it's been
haven't been in Lysec in a long time, have you?
years.
I can tell the plague has been running rampant for 35-ish years.
And Storik is 36, so
age buddies, age buddies.
so it's like that's long.
Pardon.
There's lots of stories and things about how the plague started, but it's been here a very long time, and if you would have been exhibiting any signs of it, you would not be standing in front of my stall.
Good to know.
I'm not sure the doc guy would have noticed.
Pardon my intrusion into your conversation, but unfortunately I have never truly been to this town, nor have I actually heard too much about the plague that's running rampant. Could you... What is it that's going on with it? I ask because I consider myself rather adequate at helping cure diseases and things of the like. It's kind of actually one of my major focuses besides the ancient word marks.
You're not one of those morbus doctore fellows, are you? Because if you are, I'm not giving you any information. You drug off too many of my friends.
I promise you, I'm not of the ones from around here. I go about and whilst I seek out my studies and the meanings behind the ancient words, I simply offer help to those who find ailments to be a bit too much to handle on their own.
Well,
I do not like to drag people off.
These weeping pox are terrible. You ever seen somebody get sick with these pox? I guess not. You didn't even know it was here. But at first, they have a fever and they get sharpened senses, overexcitement, and a sense of well-being, and they start acting like they're invincible. And then they change and they become delirious and they start burning with fever and thirst all the time, and they start getting these welching lesions on their skin, and it's just awful. And then after that, usually they die.
You said usually they die. What's
Yeah,
the unusual side?
Well, those morbus doctori fellows are really morbid, and they do some really terrible experiments, and they've kept people alive a little longer, but I don't think anybody's been cured to say. Usually a few days, and then that's all it takes for somebody to die, but sometimes it can drag out as much as 2 weeks.
You mentioned that the name was the Weeping Pox, correct?
Yes.
Does it also include blood trails down the eyes?
Sometimes, I suppose. I try to stay far away from anybody who has any sort of lesions or anything like that. You don't have any sores on you, do you? And he goes like this.
She while he's talking, she's been kind of like scribbling something into one of her smaller notebooks, notes on what's going on, and at the mention, she just kind of chuckles a little bit before she reaches up and slowly takes off the her her mask and kind of reveal her soft face and say, "No, I have not.
Okay,
A
good.
little bit. And if I did, I would not want to bring it around a fine gentleman as yourself, or my fellow riffraff and gentlemen. Thank
Riff-raff.
you. I
So that makes Brill the riffraff.
Yep,
think.
that's how today's gone.
So I thank you. And she'll look over to Stoic and kind of like put her press her hands together and say, "I'm so sorry for interrupting. And thank you. I'm gonna take a moment to look these notes over. Perhaps I can think of something. Maybe I can try and concoct a potion to, since cure seems so difficult, at least ease. One last question. Is there any stalls around here that sell local herbs or fauna or flora of the variety around here?"
You could try Pulp Kitchen at the other end of the market.
Oh, I'm not laughing in game. I'm sorry. That's great. I love this. Thank you. And she'll kind of nod and look over to Brill and kind of lean towards her and say, "Give the man a couple pieces of silver for the information, please." And she'll kind of start walking across the market over towards the other one, but she won't approach
Before
these
you
all
leave,
yet.
Brill is like, I don't think you guys realize how broke we're getting.
He's been paid for the information already. It's all.
We gave
it's
him a
quite
magic mall.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the mall was magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 2,500 gold piece mall.
Yeah, we paid him for it.
Is it, what is it? Is it a legendary item, the Sun Sword?
I don't know. It just said Wrath Mall on his sheet.
It's a rare item.
It's a rare item, yeah, so.
Yeah.
I would say probably even more, like 5,000 at the minimum gold piece item.
Oh, is it like the Dragon's Wrath weapon? Or the Dragon's Wrath Maul?
Something like that, I can't remember.
Got you.
Definitely would have come off the 30 gold pieces and not the mall, because that could have got you a lot of money somewhere else, but not my pockets, your own.
I tried to get something for it. I was not aware. You paid for wooden daggers?
Poor riffraff.
Sometimes we make decisions that just don't make sense. And sometimes the decisions we make aren't the ones we think we're making.
Well, you didn't look at the daggers, you just stuck them in your boot.
No, I know.
That's
I
true.
know.
So
Out
did
of
you
it.
want to go to that Pulp Kitchen, Tina? Oh, she's already on her way.
Yeah, like at that moment when you look back, Tina's already like 30 feet away.
Storic's gonna linger behind, actually, as everyone goes down to Pulp Kitchen.
Yeah, at the knowledge of the disease and all that and all the conditions, Harnack's kind of just sitting there, kind of a hand at like the beak, kind of thinking.
And Storic's gonna lean over and address the guy quick. Do you wish for me to make some repairs to your old armor? I know it can be a point of pride.
Oh, no, this old thing? Nah, I don't really much need it anymore. I mostly wear it for, because I like it.
It helps
Fair
with
enough.
identification among those who know as well.
So, you gonna buy anything else, or are you trying to blow my cover?
Doesn't seem like there's much need of a cover here, but yeah, I'll make one more purchase.
You never know. The cult of the Black Lady is always watching.
Somebody write that down. Write that down.
Storic's the only one who heard it.
I know.
I walked away too soon, damn it.
Yeah, Harnack is way too deep in thought.
But no, yeah, Storic will take note of that. All right. A bit of a tip, and he's going to give him 1 gold, because I've only got 4 gold left in my personal money.
That's okay.
I don't remember if I gave my personal money to the group loot or not. Do you know if I did, bro?
I don't
He gives
believe
you-
anyone gave me a personal gold.
No,
This was
nobody
just
did.
gold we found on the way and got paid.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I do have money. Yay!
When you give him the 1 gold, he hands you a corn husk doll.
And I'll like take the top of it and tie it onto my belt.
It's just to make it look like a good exchange.
Yeah.
And he just says some sort of thank you group and waves you off.
Yeah. I'm heading off to go catch up with everyone else up at Pulp Kitchen.
Everyone just leaves Harnock in thought.
Yeah, Harnock's still thinking right now.
Harnock's gonna get kidnapped. He's out of doctors.
Strange anger.
As Tina kind of waits up for everyone to kind of come up when Brill comes up, she's just going to kind of point over at Harnock and say, "Do you want to go grab him? I think he's a little lost in his mind right now."
Oh, yeah. Brill will go like, "You okay, buddy?"
Yeah. I'll kind of slowly walk towards the rest of them.
You've kind of been weird since the place. The lab, I guess?
Yes, there's a lot going on inside my head right now.
Okay, I mean, you know, like, we're here if you want to, get some of those things out of your head and into the open.
Harnock will kind of pat Brill on the shoulder. I know. But that's all he's going to say.
I mean, yeah, we'll walk up, like...
Yeah, Tina will walk up when she sees Brill and Harnock start meandering back over.
So you're approaching Pulp Kitchen. It is a
Yes.
small booth. And it does have size glass vials and different potion items, alchemy kit items. There are more crates that have different plants and mushrooms. That
Okay. Tina will kind of glance over and look over the different vials and such before looking to the person behind and taking the time to remove the mask one more time. And hello. I was informed that you happen to have local fauna and herbs, even fungus of the variety for alchemy and herbology.
Yes, I do. And she points to the crates on her cart in front of her. She's an older woman, kind of portly and a little bit hunched over. She wears a dirty kind of dress with an apron over it, her hair pulled up in a bun, kind of scraggly and hangs. Some of it maybe matted and locked up a little bit with different bits and bobs of plants or flowers sticking out of it.
So, excuse my lack of knowledge on the flora around here, but of the herbs that you have here, what are the properties that many of them hold?
Do you have your pencil and paper?
I am ready.
I have 6 with descriptions because somehow I knew you were going to ask.
Oh, maybe it was because you told me to be ready.
Yes. Okay, so the first one, and she gives you the scientific name. It is spelled DICHICHIUM for the first word.
DICHICHI or just CHI once?
CHI 2 times, and then
Okay.
at the
The Dichichium.
Delirium.
Yep. And the second word is spelled Yunanensis. You're welcome.
Genesis.
Yep. It is an extremely common small plant that can be found in most of the neighboring forest. It blooms once a year for 3 weeks. It has small diamond-shaped leaves, which are usually blue-green, and it also grows large flowers, which can be black, purple, or dark purple, and there's a variety of each of them there. She continues to explain, these plants grow alone, but at a decent distance from each other. It is extremely easy to control and maintain their growth, and they can be cooked and eaten. As a defense mechanism, this plant grows tiny thorns. They rely on self-pollination to reproduce, and once they pollinate, they grow small, inedible nuts.
Okay. Extremely common, local forest, blooms 3 months out of the year, variety of flowers, and they grow alone, decent distance, easy to control and maintain, with tiny thorns and relies on self-pollination, and grows small inedible nuts after pollination.
Yep.
Perfect.
The second one is the Ceteris gallicafolia. Cedrus for the first word. The second word, Galacifoliae.
All right. Galacifoliae.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Is a very rare, huge plant that can be found in the moist forest area slightly inland in Burok. It blooms in late spring. It has a small heart-shaped leaf, which are usually a dark yellow. It grows quite large flowers, which can be blue or dark orange. These plants grow alone, but with decent distance from each other. It is also hard to control and maintain their growth. They can be used to relax. As a defense mechanism, it grows tiny thorns. They rely on the wind to carry their seeds to reproduce, and once pollinated, they grow small, delicious nuts.
All right. So I can eat these nuts, but I can't eat the other nuts. Did she mention what the effects of the Delirium Unanensis?
She just said it could be eaten.
Just said could be eaten. Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, the next one is the Galactia ceolata. It's spelled Galactia. Second word, Ciliata.
Can I get the spelling of the second one more time?
Ciliata.
Okay, got it.
Is extremely rare, medium-sized plant that can be found in caves and other dark, damp places. It blooms once a year for 1 week. It has narrow needle leaves, which are usually blue-green, and it also has small flowers, which can be light red, blue, and purple. Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns.
Blue flower, red thorns.
Yeah.
Great, now I'm going to go watch Shrek after this.
Yep. These plants grow in decent numbers, but it is no trouble to control or maintain their growth. They can also be used to relax. As a defense mechanism, it is very thorny, as been explained. They rely on the wind to carry their seeds. Once pollinated, they grow small, inedible fruits.
Bettina is like heavily scribbling and writing into her notes over this, drawing small little pictures to look at the look of the different flowers. Ready for number 4?
Okay. This one is spelled Galearis. Second word, Hortorum.
Larius hortorum.
Yes. is an extremely rare, tiny plant that can be found in tropical-like regions. It blooms once a year for 1 month. It has huge paired leaves, which are usually bright green. It grows decent-sized flowers, which can be light gold, light yellow, or a dark bronze in color. They grow separated by a fair distance from each other, but it is easy to control and maintain their growth. These can be used to help relieve pain. As a defense mechanism, it grows tiny thorns again. They rely on the wind to pollinate and to reproduce. And once they pollinate, they grow small, inedible nuts.
Seems to be a very common trope around here for thorny flowers.
Yep.
Ready
for
number
5?
Yes, I am.
All right, this is a dahlia for the first word. And the second word is spelled Ogeche.
Alia Ogechi.
Short. It is an uncommon, modest plant that can be found in very, very cold regions. It blooms once a year for 1 month. It has large diamond-shaped leaves, which are usually pine green. It grows small flowers that can be dark orange, orange, or light yellow. These plants grow in huge numbers, and it is quite straightforward to control and maintain their growth. They can be eaten to relieve a sore throat. As a defense mechanism, this plant produces a thick, sticky wax. They rely on water currents to carry their seeds away to reproduce. Once pollinated, they grow fairly large, delicious, edible nuts.
All right.
And the last one. The last
Ready.
one. Spelled Clemeatis. Second word Laustris.
Mattis illustris.
Yep. Uncommon giant plant found only within the dark oak grove. Blooms early summer. Has large paired leaves, which are usually dark orange. It grows small flowers of the light brown, dark brown, and gold coloring. They grow separated by a fair distance from each other, and it is very difficult to control and maintain their growth. They have no use, but they look nice in gardens. As a defense mechanism, it relies mostly on its surroundings to survive. They rely on water currents to carry their seeds away to reproduce. Once pollinated, they grow small, delicious fruits.
Right, so it has some use. It makes small, delicious fruits, and it looks nice. Defenseless, though, except for the environment. Got you. And, Tina is just enraptured in this and is just scribbling away along all of those. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So, is there any use, actually, for these inedible nuts of these different things? Do they... Are they inedible, or, like... I'm sorry. What kind of effects come from eating these inedible nuts, if I may ask? Does it cause soreness?
Yeah,
Does it
sometimes
just-
some of them will give you sores in your mouth. Other ones give you the runs. Sometimes it makes your eyes swell. Usually not too good on humans, so I don't keep them in stock.
Got you. Okay. Well, the ones that cause you to have the runs may be good for washing out hard ailments, but only if you have the right means. Thank you so much. If I may ask, actually, in my travels, I happen to come across a second set of alchemist tools and supplies, and she'll kind of look back at Harnock for a moment to see if he would want it for a split second before turning back and asking, "Might I request a trade. This extra set of alchemy tools. I'll throw in a few extra vials for perhaps a herbology kit.
Well, mine are a little worn, but I don't know if I have all the pieces for an herbology kit. And she kind of digs around in her stuff behind her cart. You can tell that while this is her livelihood, her little shop, she doesn't really get a ton of business. So making ends meet is fairly difficult. So she's kind of just surviving with what she has. She pulls together like a small one. She says, well, I have these things, but it's all I have. So I don't know if you really want them.
Well, I do happen to need another kit, and as far as I'm able to tell, you seem to be one of the only folk around here who might have everything for that, if not all of it, at least good portions of it. If you're willing, I can piece other parts together in my travels.
I suppose I can bring it to you.
And she will pull out some of her extra beakers and vials, the swirly tubies. I can't think of the name of it right now, and put them into one of her extra pouches, or like one of her little extra side bags, and kind of place it onto the front of the cart.
Yeah, she'll trade you.
Okay, and of all of these, how much would it cost to procure a I'd say a vial full of each of these if you have them in stock. If you don't have some of these local flora in stock, I can find my way to it. But
She's got the flowers and the leaves. She just doesn't have the nuts
or the
of
fruits.
the inedible ones. The ones that you can eat, she does.
Okay.
Well, since we're making a trade, normally I charge high dollar for procuring such rare plants, but you seem to be very nice, and I haven't had a customer in a while, so I'd say you could have a small vial of each for a gold apiece.
She will reach into her small little money pouch and pull out 7 gold pieces and place them onto the cart. She will smile and say, "The extra gold is for your kindness and for being so willing to teach me of the local flora. I know, at least I've known very many people who would require you to work as little more than a laborer for months at a time for such information. So,
I'm
for your
very
troubles."
passionate about botanism and horticulture, so if anybody shows interest, I enjoy sharing the knowledge that I know. You can pick your own flowers. Since some of them are different colors, I'll let you pick one, which ones of each you want. And she sets the little vials up so that way she could fill them with what you pick. She puts on these leather gloves so as to not get poked by any of the thorns or anything like that.
Okay. Since you are, I should offer warning beforehand, but in my travels, I came across a very, very toxic substance, something that I'm going to be taking the time to research for. Since you seem very passionate about it, I may be willing to spare some of it, but I must warn you that this is very toxic. You would not believe me if I told you where I got it from, so I won't bother.
There's a lot of interesting things running around this place. I don't think I should be in the care of such toxic items. And plus, my hands kind of shake a little bit.
Fair enough. I wouldn't. I'm very hesitant to even open it up after first acquiring it, and I had to go through very hard means. But thank you so much.
She comes out from behind the cart And when she does, you notice she's barefoot. But the color of the skin on her feet and that rises up her legs is unusual and unnatural for somebody who looks like a human. It's very bronze, like dark yellow color. And she says, "My name is Baba Yellow Legs. I would love to see you again if you're ever back in town."
Thank you so much, Baba. I'm known as Valentina. You can, Valentina Telegraph. I will more than likely, if I am to find my way back here again, stop by, especially because I may or may not have some of the other faunas, and fungi from across the lands.
Yeah, if you go across anything and find anything you think I might like, I'd be willing to trade it or teach you more things, even so. Because knowledge is currency.
Indeed it is. One last question before I leave you, and she looks back to her friends who, in my mind, are like half asleep right now. Have you heard of a substance known as Dreamleaf?
I have heard of Dreamleaf. It doesn't grow near here. It grows pretty far away, up in the north part of the world. What's that place? Near the Valakin clans, up that way.
Oh, past the Nordenland?
On the north side of Burok, where it starts to get cold and stuff, where all the different tribes still live. It's called the Valakin. It's the land of the Valakin clans.
Oh, okay. I think I know where you speak of. Thank you for this educating experience. And she'll kind of give a low bow before she starts to refasten her mask.
Listen, don't go getting wrapped up in that Dreamleaf if I can offer you one more bit of advice. It tends to take a hold of you from the inside and never let you go.
I don't tend on doing more than observe and perhaps study it a little bit, but it has come up in some of the tomes that I've read lately, so it does have me a bit intrigued, admittingly.
What languages does Valentina speak?
She speaks Common, Dwarven, Infernal, Giant, Abyssal, and, though I doubt Baba speaks it, Dream Speak.
Not Dream Speak. Do any of you speak Primordial?
I don't believe I do.
I do.
But
You do.
okay, there we go.
Okay, so she'll speak to Valentina in Primordial, but you obviously won't understand it. And she'll say, "If you come across any Dreamleaf, I have some platinums tucked away in my storage. I would be willing to pay you a platinum piece per ounce of Dreamleaf that you can bring to me. And if you can bring me 1 ounce of dried or 2 ounces of fresh, I'll pay you 1 platinum piece each, and up to 5 platinum."
As she starts to speak it, Val will kind of actually like raise a finger and say, "I'm sorry, just one moment," and pull out one of her little vials that she keeps tucked away in her chest pocket, and kind of like looks it over for a moment before saying something in the dream speak and drinking it, and then she waves her hand and says, you can go ahead," as she will cast comprehend languages as slightly and handily as possible, like a plague doctor might, so she can understand it.
Okay. Yeah, so she says it, and the way she says it, and the reason she says it in Primordial is, she doesn't want anybody to hear. And she says it in a very low, hushed tone. And you'd understand her tell you, if you bring back, 1 ounce of dry or 2 ounces of fresh, she would pay you 1 platinum piece each, up to 5 platinums total.
Thank you. And she will write that down at the bottom of the page that she scribbled all of the flowers and such on. She will then take her the vials of the flowers, and leaves and put them in her alchemical pouch, and then she will give a low bow and say, "It was very, it was very kind fate to allow us to speak on this educational notion." Thank you so much.
I'll give you the opportunity as you go to turn away to roll a perception check.
I will take it.
Okay. And anybody else that's paying
Uh,
particular attention to Baba Yellowlegs.
Storic wasn't until the primordial started being spoken. Then he was like, "Oh, okay."
All right, I got an 11.
I got a 21.
Nice.
Brill or Harnock gonna roll?
Nah.
Yeah, not roll.
Brill is probably half asleep.
Yep.
That's how Storic was until she started speaking in primordial. He was like, "All right, I'm in my sleeping pose, but my eyes are still open."
Harnock got a 16.
Okay, so Harnock and Storic, Valentina, you won't notice, but as you kind of turn away, when she kind of gives you a smile, for a moment when she smiles, her teeth appear to be made of iron, and then if you look back again, they look like normal teeth.
Storic's just gonna in the Terran dialect of primordial. Cousin?
She'll say back something like that and nod and go back to nonchalantly moving things around behind her stand.
And Storic's gonna turn to leave, and as he leaves, call out behind him, "May your foundation be strong," also in Terran.
Okay. She doesn't necessarily speak the Terran dialect of primordial, but would speak primordial enough to break it down to the root to understand.
If you speak any dialect of primordial, you can understand all the others.
Yep, then she'll know what you say. Let's see if she says anything back.
I can give you a real bad persuasion check if you want. Charisma check to see if she likes him.
Nat 20.
I think you'd be the first person so far who actually likes Storic.
At least in this town.
Yeah, this town has not been nice to Storic.
Storic's not been nice to this town, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Very fair.
And hey, the thieves guy doesn't hate him.
I would hope not after what we gave him.
Yeah.
That's a 14 on her charisma check.
Okay. She says something. Let's see what she says. She just replies back to you, "Nameless is your price."
Nameless is your price.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to assume that doesn't ring any bells for Storic as like any traditional greeting or like word of departure or anything.
Not Stork might not recognize it, but there may be one or two individuals in your party who might.
Okay. Well, I think Val's the only other person who might have understood that, so.
Yeah, Val has comprehend languages going, so you would hear the same.
Yeah, Val's the only other person who heard it, so. Storic will just nod at her and walk away.
All right. where do you choose to go as a group from here? You're in the market. You can see the church, the high belfry, the barracks, and some other things. You had mentioned a tavern, but nobody asked the questions of the tavern.
Yeah. Val literally, as she gets back with a group. Oh shoot! I forgot to ask about an inn or a tavern around here.
Honestly, we've forgotten at both places. We've kind of just gotten rid of things and gotten things in return for them. But we found out for sure there's a plague going through here called the Weeping Pox.
And I also know what we seek is confirmed to be around where they're sending us. Also, if we gather a little bit extra, I can make us a pretty penny. She offered me platinum pieces for dried leaves.
Brill looks around. People here have platinum.
Those who work with these plants, we all tend to try and keep some money on the side for such. In fact, that's the only reason I pulled out my little personal pouch. Though, and she'll offer the last of her 3 measly gold over to Brill and say, though, as you guys have spent some on me, I may as well return this into it.
I mean, if you want, you don't have to. That's what group loot is for.
Exactly. If I am able to make some kind of potion that can help, I may be able to restock my alchemical herbologist fund up. But until then, I noticed that we have started to hemorrhage a little bit of our funds.
To be honest, even before Cholamil, there really wasn't that much of it. I mean, like, we had a lot, but we got a lot for it. And we're not, like, broke. I just don't want us to completely run out of money and come to town and not be able to get an inn.
Agreed.
But I don't know where the inn is here. I mean, there's this big fancy building over here. Bro looks at the belfry. I suppose someone in there's gotta, like, have some, like, legitimate information, right? Or we can keep wandering.
Well, we have a rather large town to look through. Though, if I were to make an assumption, perhaps the tavern may be near one of the wells that may be around here, if there is one.
That's true.
After all, it is a pretty decently common practice to water down your liquor or your spirits in order to sell more.
Also, one other question we might want to ask the next person is, what's up with the manor out on the island?
Yeah, that'd be a good question.
Very true.
But that still doesn't really decide, do we see a well around here at all?
Without making everybody sick.
I was like, let me...
Right through. I don't think we're gonna see that one.
If we don't see one, Brill's just gonna walk up to one of the stalls we haven't walked up to yet.
Okay.
She's gonna be like, listen, I don't really want to buy anything, but I'll give you a gold coin if you can answer a couple questions for me.
It's a young lady with a basket of wilted dandelion flowers, selling them for $1 a piece.
Me and my friends were kind of new in town. We were just looking for an inn.
Well, there's 2 of them. You could try the Pig's Tit, which is on the west side of town. Don't make that face. I can't keep straight. You could try the Pig's Tit on the west side of town, or there's the fancier one, the King's Coin. It's over on the east side. Whichever one. They both have taverns and inns. Would you like a dandelion?
I'm okay. But you can have this, and bro will just like put a gold coin in her basket. And real quick before I go, we saw that big like abandoned house out on the island. What's the story with that?
Oh, that belongs to the Bauergrat family.
And are they like the ones in charge here? I mean, it doesn't seem like they've responded to the plague very well.
They used
Or
to
the
be, but
pox.
they haven't been since I've been alive. She's like 12.
So who's in charge then? Oh. Yeah.
She kind of looks around. Well, I don't really know who's in charge anymore, but I stay away from the people in the black robes. They scare me.
Do you know where they tend to be?
Yeah.
She turns and points towards the high belfry.
Great. Are those the what was it? The Morbus Dottores?
No. Those people are over at the Sparrow's Nest. These ones, they follow, and she leans in and whispers, "The Black Lady."
Can I make a history check on this cult of the Black Lady?
Sure.
16?
Okay. Really, you wanted to roll too?
Yeah. I don't have one I can argue for. Can I do religion instead of history?
Sure.
9.
Okay.
I'm
So what
just
I'll
not
give
rolling
you-
today.
That information that I'll give you, historic, is the kind of motto of the cult. It says, "We worship beauty in this lost world, a dark, demanding, and thirsty beauty."
I think there's more than one illness in this town.
You want to go to the Belfry?
As Storic says that, Tina will kind of like walk over and just kind of like give a little like poke with her elbow and kind of look him in the eye for a moment and half slightly nod, but like just kind of like giving the look of like not too loud.
Sorry, what was that?
Not too loud.
Yes, Brill. I wish to go to the Belfry.
Thank you. What's your name?
Lycinia. And then she turns and runs. "Thank you, I'm going to go get a sweet roll."
Get more than one for that.
And when she runs, just before she leaves the market, you see 2 little towhead children come out from behind another booth and follow her.
That's...
This is a very strange town.
could've
But yeah,
seen her.
I agree. I'm kind of interested by this place. I wanna, if they're the ones in charge, I want to know what's going on because I don't know much about them.
To the Belfry.
All right, everybody, let's go. Let's go to the Belfry to go ring on the first of 2 bells.
Is this the second time? Is this gonna end the same as the first time? Also, yeah, there's 2 inns. I don't know how I feel about the poorer inn.
Seeing as we just paid 30 gold for 2 wooden daggers, I'm a little worried about the prices of these inns.
I don't disagree.
I told you
Also,
that-
to be fair, we did only pay for the boat for 1 day currently.
I don't know if we'll wish to be here more than one day.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know if we really need it in, but I do want to see what's going on here. because this place, it's big, it's in the middle of town, and apparently whoever's in charge is here. And the people are scared of them, and that's not good.
Yeah, when you get to the front of the high belfry, you see two black-robed figures, both holding, what is that weapon called? A halberd, the long one on a stick with blades at the end.
Yep.
They both have that. They don't say anything to you, but very much like the Queen's Guard, they block your path and don't let you go into the belfry.
Oh, I'm sorry. We just wanted to talk to someone.
And they kind of just point, together in unison. They point pretty much back towards the market, talk to somebody there, sit here.
You would deny us entry?
They just nod.
I'm going to look around at my companions and try to catch their vibe. Do we want to try to catch and see if they want to force the issue?
Okay, thanks. Brill's gonna turn and start walking away. And she's gonna, specifically be walking, along the wall. And she just wants to try and keep an eye out if there's an area that doesn't seem to be guarded, maybe an area that could be scaled.
They're very high walls. They're made of stone, and it's like a very gothic feel to this area. And as you kind of walk along and look up on the walls, you notice sentries kind of pacing the walls, wearing that same dark black garb with hoods over their faces. And you can see the belfry towering above, and some plants growing unruly above and on the wall, vines rose bush vines. And the building itself is dark, and there doesn't seem to be any lights or anything on inside.
I was gonna say, I don't know if the rest of them also came with. Or if they were starting stuff. Because if stuff happens, Brill will come back.
No, I'm going to go with Brill.
Yeah, Val will also go with Brill. She will kind of lower her. She'll actually kind of shake her sleeves down a little bit, and then bring her sleeves together, hiding her hands for the moment, readying to perhaps cast something if something pops off, but secretly and quietly.
And for reference, I'll say it's probably, you've been, you docked your boat and all of that, went through the market, did some talking. It's probably 2:00 now in the afternoon.
Brill's gonna try and find an area up here, maybe behind this stall in this little cubby, if she can, try to not draw attention.
Okay.
And wait for the group. And do we really want to get in there? And do we want to do it right now?
If we're to do something, she'll start saying lowly, her eyes kind of casting off to different areas to make sure no one's staring too hard, staring too much. It's perhaps best when when it gets darker, unless I'm not sure.
Normally I would agree with you, but if I'm honest, lately it seemed like a lot of things tend to prefer the darkness.
You're not wrong. The scroll I procured in Toll, I can give somebody, I want to say, was it 1 minute or was it 10 minutes? 1 hour. I can give 2 people an hour where they won't see you unless they have the ability to see what can't be seen.
I Brill kind of looks down for a second, and I might be able to make it over that wall. I don't know if we want to go now. That's true. We do. I don't know if we have a way to get eyes in there. And I don't. Can you do that more than once, Tina?
I have a way to get eyes in there. And I'm going to send my raven flying over the edge of the wall and warg
Okay.
into it.
So when your raven gets over the edge of the wall, you see very well manicured garden grounds. There are large gargoyle-esque statues in the front of the garden. There's a fountain in the center, and the fountain seems to have some sort of winged creature as the statue in the center. And as he continues, your raven flies back. You see the belfry is very large. It has beautiful stained glass. There's like an empty bulletin board outside, maybe like they used to hold town meetings here before. There's a graveyard to the side also, and it looks like freshly dug graves there on the side. And the belfry itself gives very, very like Castlevania feeling vibes.
Yeah, I want to have the raven try to swoop down and like break just a little piece of one of the stained glass windows so I can peek inside.
Okay, let's see. Make me an unarmed strike, let's say.
Yep. Raven only has one attack, so if it hits, it does 1 damage.
Okay.
15 to hit.
And is it up at the top, the middle, or the bottom?
I think probably up to the top.
Okay, when it breaks out the glass, a little tiny chip where it can get its beady eyes in, it is a very, very, very dark room with some sort of altar-like structure in the back. And that's all you really see in there.
Still warged into the raven, Storik's going to speak in primordial since he knows Val can understand it and a lot of other people can't. I don't see many guards or cultists in the area. It seems the building itself is set back a ways with a large garden around it and a cemetery off to the side, graves freshly dug, a number of gargoyle statues, and a large fountain with some form of winged beast. I couldn't quite make out the details to see what it was.
Val will just kind of like be like at this point, like I'm really half leaning against Storik, just kind of taking it in because I imagine that he's still saying it kind of quietly. Yeah.
Yeah, he's whispering.
Got you. Got you. Gargoyles, freshly dug graves. And she'll kind of glance over to Brill and say, "Perhaps you're right. Perhaps the darkness will bring more guards out."
We don't see anyone like on top of the wall, right?
There are sentries on the high part of the wall.
Okay.
But you didn't see, Storik didn't see a bunch of people walking around currently,
Right.
but he did see the freshly dug graves. You see the sentries, the people guarding the front.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah. if what you're saying is true, I definitely think going now, at least, even if it's not bright daylight, at least it's daytime is better. It doesn't sound like we're dealing with just some random monsters or people, potentially.
This is true.
What if you made someone other than me invisible? I could go up the wall, and the other two could sneak up on the two at the front, and we could maybe take them out quickly.
I'm afraid that if we do that,
I could use
especially
that
in
too.
broad daylight, I can. Though if we take a moment to stop by one of these inns and get me into a place of privacy for a moment, I can make a concoction and we can go over a plan before we do anything haphazardly. There's something I need to speak about, and I think Stork will be able to confirm it. But I dare not speak it out loud in our current predicament.
Okay, I mean, that means we're either waiting a full day or coming back tomorrow, which means we need to go back to the dock.
I need no more than 10 minutes to make the concoction, and if we discuss everything, I ponder another 10 minutes at most. We could be back here within an hour.
Perhaps we go get ourselves a room for the night just to keep up appearances, and we can discuss there.
Indeed. Val says indeed while rolling her eyes, considering that's literally what she just said. I got a love story.
Before we walk away, since we're kind of out of the sight line, can I cast Detect Magic?
Will was also going to do that.
Yeah,
You can do it anyway. Nope.
you go right ahead. You've been a quiet bee.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic. So, for the duration, I can sense presence magic within 30 feet of me. If I sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around an invisible creature or object. And you learn in School of Magic, if any. Spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, and a thin sheet of lead. Or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
I'll tell you, since it is a thick stone wall, you do feel magic from the outside, and it feels like conjuration and evocation magic, both.
Alright, I'm gonna relay that to the party. There does appear to be magic on the walls.
What types?
Evocation and conjuration.
Evocation and conjuration. I sense there's more at work here than we truly know yet.
So which inn do you guys want to go to?
The pigs.
If you don't want to go here now.
If we want to go with the one that's maybe better on our pocketbook, I believe the pig's tit will be the choice. However, the king's coin may offer us a bit more privacy.
You're the one who has to make a concoction and tell us things.
It's wherever. This is
You
true,
need
but
more privacy.
I need just enough. I don't need true privacy. It's not like I need to get naked or anything. I just need a controlled environment. So whichever you might discern. Either one, we may be able to get more information on what we know on what's going on around here.
I mean,
And she'll look to Storic actually and say, If there were anyone that may be sympathetic to your previous engagement, where might you think would be their place to linger?
The church.
Of the two inns, I should say. I apologize.
Oh, the King's Coin.
Then she'll kind of raise her hand towards Doric and say, "Then I guess we should go to the King's Coin."
Guess we're walking up this way to get over there.
Does anyone have any idea which way the King's Coin is?
Yes, it's east.
Ah,
Yep, east ways.
do 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 do, mana do 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 do.
These homes, as you pass through them, appear to be more occupied. You see a lot more of the black cloaked individuals, and these homes are very dark and brooding in their decorum.
Are the dark robe individuals wearing masks?
All of their faces are covered. Their hoods are enough to obscure their faces, so it just looks like you're looking into a black hole.
So like Jedi robes, but black hole hoods.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. Guys, I think we're in a Sith town. Val will keep walking, though she will kind of glance over every so often at the black-robed individuals, making an assumption that they are possibly the Morbius ones that they spoke of.
I think we were told the black-robed individuals are of the cult of the Black Lady. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Sorry, mix up.
Morbius Doctore, they wear plague masks. Like,
oh, okay. That was literally what I was trying to confirm or deny. Thank you.
Yeah, so once you get to the King's Coin, it's one of the nicer buildings that you've seen here in Lysec so far. Just kind of like to the southeast of it, you see some pretty nice, well-kept guild houses is what it kind of looks like. When you go into the King's Coin, it is very clearly like a merchant/pirate bar.
Okay, perfect.
Much more taken care of than what you would assume the Pig's Tit was.
Yeah. I think this is it. And Brilla will hold open the door for everyone.
Val will give like a small little half curtsy to Brilla and walk in as she holds the door open. Such a gentle woman.
And if you look at the top left or top right here, you can see my old character.
You see nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. You go away there. Anyway, I forgot to clear it.
I was trying to drag myself away and save my own life. Just made myself massive instead.
Yep.
The last time you were here. Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Last time I was here, I believe it was the Gobble Inn, and you can check that out on Rescue Rainbow City, also on the Heroes and Hooligans channel. Watch our VODs.
But, ding! Just what he said. Yeah, this is not the Gobble Inn, though. This is the King's Coin. A, not so swanky, but a champagne taste on a boxed wine budget sort of swank kind of put together tavern, and there are more people in here than you've seen anywhere else. You can tell they're two different crowds of people because they're dressed similar but differently. So half of them are in more East India Trading Company style uniforms, and they are called the Augustine Trading Company. The other are in more piratey, Jack Sparrow-y looking clothes, and all of their stuff says the GBC, which stands for the Golden Barge Company. Clearly, two very different merchant factions.
Do one of you want to go get a room that meets your needs, and I'll see if one of these patrons knows anything?
I will, and she'll kind of reach out to with her hand out to Brill for the.
Brill's just passing the bag over.
Yep, exactly. And we'll take the bag, tie it off to her belt under her robes, and we'll walk up to the counter, looking back to see if anyone's gonna support it or not. And if
Yeah,
not,
Storic's going with you.
perfect.
And
And
Brill's
and as Storic like kind of like catches up to Val, she's going to kind of like wink a little bit before she will wrap her like she will like kind of like hold on to his bicep for a moment and kind of walk up to the counter.
Yep, you walk up, and the barkeep is a dwarven man standing on top of an empty crate of wine bottles. And he asks, "What can I get for you?"
Hello, good sir. Me and my man here, we were wondering if you happen to have any rooms available for the night.
Yeah, I got some 4-man sleeps for, and he looks down at a piece of paper and sees the price has been changed a couple times, and he says, 5 silver pieces for the night.
5 silver pieces. Does that include food and drink for the night?
Nope, it just counts for the beds. If you want
Okay.
locked for your boxes, it's going to cost you an extra silver piece per box.
Okay. And she'll reach into her pouch, letting go of Storic's arm for a moment. Just one moment, honey. And we'll kind of rummage through her bag, pulling out 10 silver pieces, and we'll put them onto the counter. If I may, actually, could I actually also procure a couple drinks right away?
He points to the sign behind him, and when you see him point, you notice he has a hook hand, and he points at the sign behind him and taps it, and there's 2 options, grog or special grog.
What do you think we should have? Dear?
I don't know how many times I've told you I'm a bodyguard, not your partner.
Oh, you're so funny.
3 special grogs.
And what are the rest of you having? Because we know what Storic's having.
I will
Storic's
take
actually, it's just 3 special grogs for the compatriots. I'm on duty.
Okay.
Oh dear. Do save the rest for another special grog for when he's off duty.
And so he starts working, and you notice that not only is his left hand a hook, but so is his right. But he seems to be navigating behind the bar pretty well. The mugs have handles on them, and he picks them up by their handle and puts them on a tray that also has handles that he can put his hooks under. And you notice he's got different stools and crates and things around behind him for him to set stuff on. And he goes to there's 2 barrels in the back. Both of them are tapped. One of them has the word grog painted on it in like a brown colored paint. And the other one has special grog, but it's spelled not correctly. And he goes to that one, and he uses his hooks to, open it, pour it, and he brings it back. 2 coppers apiece.
Okay, perfect. If we may want to grab some more drinks throughout the night, so with the rest of that last silver, can I just run a tab for the moment?
He looks at you and says, "If you give me your guild papers."
I'm gonna show him my signet ring. Good enough for you?
That ain't no guild I recognize.
You're telling me this town no longer recognizes the Inquisition.
Listen, at the King's Coin, we only recognize one thing, and that's guild papers. From the Golden Barge Company or the Augustine Trading Company. One or the other. The only way you can open a tab.
Just pay the man.
Understandable, and she'll kind of she did give an extra silver to cover for the drinks as well. So
Okay. So yeah, you paid up everything, and you get them.
As we get them, she'll kind of look back towards Brill and Harnock and point them out and say, "Could you deliver these other 2 drinks to them, please?" And she'll kind of grab Storik, reach out to kind of like grab Storik by the arm and say, "Come, let's go check the room."
Yeah, Storik will. He doesn't even have to put the effect on of just like long-suffering bodyguard. It's just what his face looks like.
And Tina is totally trying to sell the image of
Spoiled rich girl on a trip.
Yep, hands down.
I got the vibe.
Appearances, after all. Oh wait, we didn't get a key for the room. Can we get that key for the room, please?
He turns around on a board that hangs behind him. You see there's like 8 pegs, and a majority of the pegs are empty. There's only 2 keys left, one for room 8 and one for room 3, and he grabs the one for 3 and hands it to you.
Oh,
I'll give you an extra silver for the one on the end. I'd rather not have to listen to too many of the riffraff.
So he takes your money and gives you the key, and they're at opposite ends of the hallway. But they're when you go up there, I know Valentina said that she wanted to go up. When the 2 of you go up and you look in the rooms, you see they're very like lower class beds, but like lower middle class beds. There's no furniture in the room. There's a chest at the end of each bed, and there's like a wash basin, but no facilities in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tina, when she gets into the room, will close the door and kind of let go of Storik and just kind of give a small little nod before going over to one of the chests and kind of dragging it out into the center of the room before she starts pulling out her alchemical supplies and starts to get to work right away. She will take 10 minutes to concoct a good medicine. She will use the 2nd level spell slot in order to make the good medicine an invisibility potion. And will then hand it immediately to Storik. And as she hands it to him, she will kind of she holds onto the bottle and kind of pulls close and whispers to him, "I felt something this entire town. It feels as if something is draining the life out of everything here. I'm sure you found something of the similar variety, did you not?"
Well, I've seen the evidence of it, but to be fair, the town tried to establish their own economy in an age of empires. That could just be the natural effects of that.
Well, there's something magical going on, some disease or something of the like draining it. This plague may be but a cover. I don't doubt that this weeping plague is not real, but I think it may be instilled here to cover their tracks.
Not impossible. I trust your word on the magics more than my own. You have more experience with them.
I'm this one. So this potion here, when you drink it, as long as you keep concentration for an hour, you'll disappear. But if you harm someone else, it will break.
Good to know.
And last but not least, and she'll kind of go back over, just give me 10 more minutes, and she will, just to be sure, will also use good medicine with a 3rd level spell and create a fly potion for him.
Okay.
All right. I'll go ahead and
During
add
this
those to my
entire
inventory.
during this entire time, she's been slowly sipping at the special grog, which I imagine does not taste very good.
It tastes like watered down ale, cheap rum, and lime juice. You got the special one. It's got the rum in it. It's not just watered down ale and lime juice.
Oh, the grog isn't even just watered down rum? How dare they? Very glad we chose a special rum, though. That should be everything that I'll need for the moment, though I don't think I want to leave anything here, so let's lock up and get back with the group.
Yes.
And I half imagine while Storic and Val are doing this, that Brill is conversing with the patrons.
That was the goal.
Yep.
All right.
So that's us, I believe.
All right. Brill and Harnock?
Yeah, as soon as they walk to the bar, Brill is gonna, like, look for someone who looks like they're dressed well, but not, like, too high ranking or anything. She doesn't want to just, like, walk up to some captain or something, but just kind of, like, approach one of the tables.
I would say this gentleman right here. is
Yeah, he
prob-
looks like he's by himself.
Yep, he's by himself, and he's one of the lowest ranking. There's 2 empty chairs there.
Do you mind if I pull up a chair, friend?
Oh, sure. And you see he's got dingy red hair, some freckles across his cheeks, and he's very like nervous and stammery when you talk to him. Human male. Probably early 20s, 20, 21, fresh face.
Yeah. So yeah, Brill's just gonna kind of look at him and be like, so, me and my friends, we kind of just stopped by. We're taking our boat up north into the Dalkin lands. Wondering if you had any stories, any news about the area? It seems like everyone in here belongs to a company or a group or something.
Yeah, I just signed up. I haven't been up there yet. I haven't even got to go out on my first tour.
Signed up with who?
The St. Augustine Trading Company.
Oh, I see.
And he like points to the design
Yeah.
on his shit.
I'm not really from this area. What do you guys, what does the St. Augustine Trading Company do? Do you guys just deliver goods?
Yeah, we transport goods from different places on the continent to others. Sometimes it's long trips by sea. Sometimes we get to go inland. Well, we don't. I didn't. I haven't got to go yet. Someday I will. Soon, I think.
Ah, I see. What about those guys over there? And she'll point to one of the people with the other symbol.
Oh, that's the competition. That's the GBC. They do the same thing that we do, but they say they only charge exactly what's right. And to me, it sounds like piracy. Of course, we got papers for ours.
Do they not have papers for theirs?
I don't know. I didn't sign up with them. They didn't pay as much.
Oh, I see. That sounds... I mean, that's information. Have you been in town long? What do you know about,
I grew up
the...
inside.
You grew up here.
Just outside of here.
Oh, so what brought you here? Do you know, who runs the town? How are things going? It seems pretty empty.
The trading company was coming through my village, and well, my sister got married, and my dad runs a farm, and I don't know about you, but shoveling pig shit is definitely not something I want to be doing for the rest of my life. So I got the opportunity, and I signed up, and I rode the boat back here, and I've been here ever since.
For a moment, Bro gets this like reminiscent look in her eye, and she says, "You'd be surprised. Shoveling pig shit might not be the worst thing you do out there in the world."
I don't want to do terrible things. I just want to travel and do great things.
I can drink to that. And she'll like raise her glass and just take a drink. And try to definitely awkwardly, not that she's trying to be awkwardly, like kind of get up and go back to Harnock if he's still over there and hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he's just sitting at the table, kind of trying to stay close to you without it being obvious that like we're both walking around.
Okay. And she's gonna be like, yeah, he didn't really have much information. I guess they're shipping companies. They move goods, both of them. He's relatively new. He didn't really know anything, but someone else might. Should we go check on the others upstairs?
Yeah, we can go check with them, see if they've noticed anybody else, like maybe upstairs.
Brill's just gonna lean to one of the people with a GBC on him as she walks past, goes, "Those guys don't know what they're talking about."
Thinks Brill's trying to incite a bar fight.
I mean, it's not that she's trying to start a bar fight, but that guy didn't know anything, and maybe these guys will know more. And since they're the competition, they probably don't like those guys.
Yeah, so the guy you walk by will just say, yeah, bunch of Richie cads, and he'll toast and take a drink and go back to the ruckus at his table. So you guys go up. I assume somebody told you what room that they were going to, and you do that, and that's where we will leave it for this week. And we'll figure out what you're going to do and talk about in the rooms and your next plans next week. So that being said, we ran a little late tonight, so we're going to go ahead and run our raid over to Mistress Winter's Court, where I believe they are still playing Pathfinder, and call it a night. We'll see everybody next Monday.
Woo, Pathfinder, 3 actions in a turn.